These are the most emotional moments in football history.
Helicopter's just crashed next to the stadium.
I'm literally getting goosebumps.
And first, what happened to one of Man City's biggest fans wasn't just a tragedy. It created one of the most heartbreaking games in their club's history. This is Millie Rose. And as you can see, she was always supporting Man City, especially their star player Phil Foden, until out of nowhere she was rushed to the hospital and forced into an emergency surgery. Doctors realized she was suffering from a serious condition where an infection was causing all of her organs to completely shut down, and unfortunately they couldn't save her. So, news broke that she passed away. The innocent little girl was only 6 years old. So, when Man City's club heard the news, they not only announced that their next game was in her honor. At the 6th minute, they held a round of applause for. And as emotional as that was, the biggest moment of the day came when our favorite player Phil knew he had to personally show her this appreciation by doing this.
Keeps on coming. That is a brilliant goal. One of the best of the season. Phil Foden drifted in from the right hand side.
Now, after scoring an insane goal that he knew even Millie would be proud of, Phil celebrated with his squad, then pointed to the sky and kissed his hands. Then after that match, Phil made things official by posting pics of the moments for millions of people. Just so you could say that one was for you, Millie Rose. Man, you got to respect Phil for that. But one of football's most heartbreaking things to ever happen is when a helicopter took off from this football stadium and crashed. The moment right there led to news that shocked the world.
Has been told the owner of Leicester City Football Club was on board the helicopter that crashed and burst into flames just minutes after taking off from the King Power Stadium last.
Turned out, as the team's owner was leaving the stadium, everything was going smoothly until the helicopter got slightly above the top of the roof. A piece of the helicopter called the control shaft, which keeps the helicopter balance, completely broke and caused it to spiral out of control until it crashed. The scene was brutal and everybody on board, including the owner, 2 members of the staff and 2 pilots, were all killed. This wasn't a moment that fans wanted the world to ever forget, so they showed their support for the victims by placing memorials for them outside the stadium, and some even got emotional when they talked about the tragedy.
Because they're such nice people, really genuine, humble people, care for the community, for the club, the people. It's just terrible.
Just thoughts of everybody on board, you know, the pilots, the family, everybody. It's just the thoughts for them and their families, really.
Now, you could just tell in their voices how devastated they felt about the situation. It wasn't just fans who were affected by it, though. Leicester's star player Jamie Vardy, he couldn't help but cry when he dropped flowers off at the memorial. Then, the entire organization did something special at their next game by raising banners in the crowd, showing an emotional tribute on the big screen, where fans were tearing up and they even had a moment of silence. So, of course, all the players were crying before the match, but everything kind of turned out exactly what the fans hoped for. When a Leicester player scored their only goal, he honored the owner during his celebration.
55 on the clock, and how much does this goal mean to Damari Gray and Leicester City Football Club?
And this finally gave everybody a reason to smile, cause it also led to their squad winning. Things were still emotional, though, especially afterwards when everybody hoped on a plane to fly 6,000 miles to their owner's birthplace in Bangkok for his funeral. So obviously, here's where things got extra emotional as the players all hugged the owner's son and surrounded the situation in prayer. Now, that's sad and to this day, I still can't believe it even happened. But I bet this crazy fan isn't sad about Lionel Messi's most emotional moment, because Messi tearing up nearly made them $1 million. It sounds ridiculous, I know, but it's all cause this press conference was the toughest thing Messi had ever been through. Here is where Messi was going to make things official that after nearly 2 decades of being with his Barcelona club, he was being forced to leave them. So obviously, Messi's emotions leaked all over the interview, literally, which is why his wife handed him a tissue that he used over and over and over again. Eventually, though, he made it through, but little did he know that tissue was going to make so many headlines. It turned out a man who was there watching Messi's emotional interview somehow managed to get the tear-soaked tissue, then posted it for sale on eBay asking for $1 million. What's even crazier is that the man claimed it was worth that much all cause it had Messi's genetics on it, which could be used to clone a legendary player like himself in the future. Dude was tripping for that, but one of the Messi's biggest fans, who is also a model, actually bid over $800,000 just because she planned on posing naked with the tissue. Now, I'm not going to act like I wasn't trying to see that. It's still definitely gross though, and proves these girls will do anything for club. But what if I told you another football star's most heartbreaking moment came because of some scheme-ass criminal? On Instagram, Jackie made an interesting post where the pic itself didn't seem like anything too emotional. It was just him and his dog looking happy as can be. But in the caption, it revealed something horrifying. It revealed that criminals had their eye on Jack for a while, cause there's been plenty pictures of him floating around the internet, flexing some of the most expensive watches in the world. Paddocks, Rolexes. Pretty much in any single pic you see of him, he's got something valuable on his wrist, which is his entire collection was worth over $1 million. But that's only the first thing the criminals noticed. Jack made even more headlines when he upgraded to a brand new mega mansion. And this place wasn't just ridiculous already. Jack had planned to renovate it to make it even crazier, so that blueprints of the ins and outs of the crib got leaked. And that's why the criminals had no problem tracking down its exact location in England where they planned to strike. December 27th, 2023 was the day all, because they knew Jack would be away playing a football match against Everton. While he was on the field, the criminals pulled into Jack's neighborhood, broke inside, and even though it set off all the alarms and they filled the scene with his entire $1 million watch collection, police rushed to the scene, a helicopter flew over the area, and the situation turned into an all-out investigation. But even though of all that made the story go viral, even to make its way all over the news, somehow the criminals got away and there were no leads. So all Jack could really do is make a devastating Instagram post where he said, "I can't begin to explain how devastated I am over the burglary that took place in my home a few days ago. This has been a traumatic experience for all of us, and I'm just grateful that nobody was hurt. I've had so many amazing experiences and achievements over the last 12 months, but to be honest, the best year of my life in football now doesn't even feel like something that can celebrate. The people that commit these terrible crimes have no idea the damage they caused by people's lives. I just hope they found and brought to justice that no other family has got through that what we have, man." Shout out to Jack for staying strong. Now that we have time for one more emotional moment, how about something so heartbreaking it even made the toughest football player in history? Just honestly, take a look at Zlatan Ibrahimovic, man. Yeah, you never expect a man who's covered in crazy tattoos, works out like he's training to become a gladiator, plays so hard he sometimes injures players or even films commercial in hell, would ever be vulnerable enough to let the world see him cry. But what happened between him and his AC Milan Club made it happier. Ever since Zlatan started playing for them, he was always a fan favorite because of ridiculous plays like this, and the fact that he helped carry the squad to titles they hadn't seen in a decade. What was happening here was more than just football for him though. The area he played in was even more important to him, so he donated hundreds of thousands of his own dollars to help out the community, and was even the face of fundraisers for local hospitals, which helped him raise over $1 million. Everything Zlatan was doing off the field and the field for his teammates and for his fans made him an AC Milan icon. Eventually, though, the time came that all fans were scared of. Zlatan reached an age where it was time to let football go, and that's why AC Milan planned one big special event for his retirement that left an entire stadium emotion. As he walked onto their pitch for the last time, fans already started bawling their eyes out. When he was presented with a jersey signed by all of his teammates, not only did his wife and hundreds of other fans like the one with the tattoos start crying. Even Zlatan himself just couldn't hold back his tears as he said goodbye.